Picture this. The air is thick with uncertainty, and the streets of Britain are a patchwork of faded grandeur and mounting anxiety. The echoes of a once mighty empire linger in the architecture, but the mood is anything but triumphant. It's late 1969. The Beatles, the very symbol of British cultural dominance, are breaking up. The British Empire, which once spanned the globe, is now just a memory, a chapter closed. The country is in crisis, its people caught between nostalgia for the past and fear for what lies ahead. Headlines scream about strikes that paralyze entire industries. Power cuts are so common that candles become a household staple. The economy is sputtering, with inflation rising and unemployment lines growing longer by the day. Every morning the news brings fresh reminders of decline. Britain is called the sick man of Europe, a nation haunted by its past glory and terrified of the future. Once the workshop of the world, now its factories stand silent, shrouded in fog and uncertainty. The sense of national malaise is palpable. The government is drowning in debt, struggling to keep the lights on, literally and figuratively. Industrial unrest is everywhere. Strikes, protests, and heated debates in Parliament. The social contract feels like it's unraveling. Then, in the cold, unforgiving waters of the North Sea, a drilling rig called Sequest makes a discovery that will change everything. Against the odds, engineers strike oil deep beneath the waves. Black gold, rivers of it, trapped for millennia beneath the seabed, now unleashed. The sight of crude oil gushing from the rig is both mesmerizing and surreal, a symbol of hope in a time of despair. The Forties field, discovered in 1970, is a giant, one of the largest oil fields in the North Sea. Its potential is staggering, promising to transform not just the energy sector, but the entire nation's fortunes. Suddenly, the narrative of decline has a plot twist. The story everyone thought they knew is rewritten overnight. The oil discovery is front-page news, a beacon of hope cutting their growl. The glow. Britain, on its knees, has found a winning lottery ticket. The mood shifts almost instantly, from resignation to cautious optimism. In factories, pubs, and living rooms, people dare to dream again. News spreads like wildfire, a jolt of hope for a nation starved of good news. For the first time in years, headlines inspire excitement rather than dread. The oil discovery becomes the talk of every town and city. Imagine the scene. Pubs erupting in cheers, factory workers pausing their machines to listen to radio updates, government office workers huddled around newspapers. People who knew only austerity now have reason to hope, to believe in a brighter tomorrow. This isn't just about energy independence, it's about national rebirth. The Union Jack flies proudly over oil platforms, a symbol of resilience and renewal. The discovery is seen as a chance to reclaim lost pride and chart a new course. The oil is a get-out-of-jail-free card, a once-in-a-generation opportunity to reverse decline. Tankers begin to leave harbor, carrying not just oil, but the hopes of millions. For a country in crisis, North Sea oil feels like divine intervention. Families gather around their televisions, watching news reports with a sense of awe. Jubilant crowds fill city streets, celebrating a future that suddenly seems possible. But the question remains, would Britain seize this second chance? In the halls of power, politicians debate how to harness this windfall. The choices made now will echo for decades. The stakes couldn't be higher. The oil boom could lift the nation or deepen its divisions. Every decision is fraught with risk and possibility. The next chapter would define a generation. The baton is passed to a new era, one shaped by the promise and peril of black gold. The world is watching and Britain stands at a crossroads, its destiny hanging in the balance. Oil didn't just promise revenue, it sparked national optimism. After years of decline, Britain had its swagger back. Media hyped the oil bonanza, fueling dreams of prosperity. The country was still battered by strikes and power cuts, but oil felt like a lifeline. Politicians saw it as a game changer, a way to fix the economy without tough choices. Oil wealth became a political magic wand. Yet a few voices warned, oil is finite and this windfall should be used wisely. They urged investment in new industries and a foundation for the future. The hope was intoxicating, but the real test was in the choices ahead. Would Britain build for tomorrow or just spend for today? As oil flowed in the mid-1970s, political promises soared. Leaders claimed oil would end Britain's problems: jobs, schools, inflation, all solved. The public, weary of austerity, believed it. Oil money was seen as a right, not a bonus. The media amplified dreams of a revitalized Britain, but the focus was on spending, not saving or investing. Politicians promised utopia, avoiding hard choices. The pressure to use oil revenue for immediate crises was immense. The promise of a golden future was built on spending today. The consequences of this approach would echo for decades. In the 1970s, a tide of oil revenue swept into Britain, presenting the nation with a momentous crossroads. Suddenly, the country found itself with a windfall that could change its destiny. But with this newfound wealth came a question that would echo for generations. How should Britain use this oil fortune? Should the government spend the money immediately to ease the economic pain of the present, or should it save and invest for the benefit of future generations? The debate was fierce, with politicians and economists weighing the urgent needs of the day against the uncertain promise of tomorrow. The tempting, easier path was to use the oil money to pay off mounting debts, cut taxes to win public favor, and fund unemployment benefits as traditional industries faltered and jobs disappeared. For a country in crisis, this seemed like a lifeline, but there was another, more difficult option: to resist the urge to spend and instead create a sovereign wealth fund. This would mean investing the oil profits carefully, building a financial legacy that could support the country for generations to come, long after the oil was gone. At the very same time, Norway discovered oil in the North Sea. But unlike Britain, Norway approached the windfall with remarkable discipline and caution. Norwegian leaders debated not just how to spend the money, but how to protect their economy from the dangers of sudden wealth. They worried about inflation, dependency, and the risk of squandering a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. For Norwegians, oil was seen as a national inheritance, something to be preserved and managed with care, not simply spent as income. Citizens and politicians alike agreed that the oil belonged to everyone, including future generations. In Britain, the debate was shaped by the urgency of economic crisis and political pressure. In Norway, it was shaped by a sense of responsibility and stewardship for the future. Britain sought a quick fix, a painkiller to numb the immediate suffering. Norway, on the other hand, wanted a long-term health plan, a strategy to ensure prosperity for decades to come. The choice each nation made was clear, and the consequences would be profound, rippling through their economies, societies, and politics for years. One nation looked boldly to the future, investing in stability and growth. The other focused on the pressing needs of the present, hoping for immediate relief. Their paths diverged, setting them on very different courses. Over the following decades, the results of these choices became clear. Norway's careful planning led to sustained growth and stability, while Britain faced ongoing economic challenges. The question remains, which model was wiser? Should a nation spend now to solve today's problems, or save for a future that may be brighter than anyone can imagine? Britain, under Thatcher, chose immediate spending. Oil revenue cushioned the pain of recession and mass unemployment. The money vanished into the treasury, invisible and untracked. It paid for unemployment benefits as industries collapsed. Oil wealth was used to finance tax cuts, especially for the wealthy. Instead of investing in the future, Britain spent the windfall to manage crisis. The opportunity for strategic investment was missed. The party was brief, the hangover lasting. A once-in-a-century chance slipped away. Norway did the opposite. They separated oil revenue from the budget, saving for the future. In 1990, they created the Government Pension Fund Global. Only a small fraction of returns could be spent each year. The fund grew, insulating Norway from oil price swings. Oil wealth funded world-class public services and infrastructure. Norway's discipline built lasting prosperity. The contrast with Britain is stark. Norway planted a tree for future generations. Britain chopped it down for firewood. The consequences are now plain for all to see. Fast forward to today. The world has changed dramatically, but the choices made decades ago still echo through the lives of millions. In the heart of Scandinavia, a quiet revolution in wealth management has unfolded, shaping the destiny of an entire nation. Norway's fund is the world's largest, over $1.5 trillion. This immense pool of wealth didn't appear overnight. It's the result of careful planning, prudent investment, and a national commitment to saving for the future. The fund's size is staggering, dwarfing the GDP of many countries. It owns a slice of nearly every major company on Earth. From tech giants in Silicon Valley to energy conglomerates in Asia, Norway's fund is quietly invested across the globe, ensuring steady returns for generations to come. Every Norwegian could, in theory, receive a $270,000 check from the fund. This isn't just a number, it's a symbol of collective foresight and shared prosperity, a safety net for every citizen, young and old. The returns fund healthcare, education, and infrastructure. Norwegian hospitals are among the best in the world, universities are well-funded, and new roads, bridges, and public spaces continue to improve daily life. The fund's impact is visible everywhere. Britain, by contrast, has no oil fund. Despite discovering vast North Sea oil reserves at the same time as Norway, the UK chose a different path, one focused on immediate needs rather than long-term security. An estimated $1 trillion in oil revenue flowed into the UK, and it's all gone. The money was spent as quickly as it arrived, vanishing into the day-to-day expenses of government and society. It paid for unemployment, tax cuts, and plugging budget holes. Instead of building a legacy, the windfall was used to patch up short-term problems, leaving little behind for future generations. There's no lasting legacy, no national endowment. The opportunity to transform the nation's future was lost. And today, the evidence is seen in neglected communities and faded infrastructure. It's the biggest economic blunder in modern British history. The chance to secure prosperity for decades was squandered, leaving only regret and what-ifs. Norway's long-term thinking built a financial arc. Like a ship weathering the storms of global markets, the fund protects the nation from economic uncertainty, ensuring stability and hope for the future. Britain's short-termism left only regret. Many now look back and wonder what might have been if the windfall had been saved, not spent. One nation saved its treasure, the other buried it in a spreadsheet. The contrast is stark, a story of discipline versus indulgence, of vision versus short-sightedness. The lesson is clear: discipline builds wealth, and squandered windfalls never return. Like an athlete training for the long haul, nations too must plan for tomorrow, not just today. The tale of two North Sea nations couldn't be more different. One chose patience and prudence, the other, immediacy and impulse. The results speak for themselves, a legacy of wealth or a memory of what was lost. So where did Britain's oil money go? It masked decline, like paying for a hotel while your house crumbles. Oil revenue paid for mass unemployment as industries closed. Instead of retraining or new industries, it was a palliative. Another chunk funded tax cuts, especially for the wealthy. The windfall became a one-off transfer of public wealth into private hands. The legacy: crumbling infrastructure, underfunded services, and missed opportunities. Norway built a modern country. Britain let its assets decay. The oil money could have rebuilt Britain for the 21st century. Instead, it funded a fleeting party in the 1980s. The hangover lingers to this day. What if Britain had saved like Norway? Even half the oil revenue would mean a fund worth hundreds of billions. A 500 billion fund could generate 20 billion a year, forever. That could fund science, green tech, the NHS, and modern schools. It could have built a high-speed rail network and invested in national assets. Instead, privatizations and regional decline became the norm. The oil money could have rebalanced the economy, investing in the North, Wales, and Scotland. Instead, it managed decline and deepened divisions. The ghosts of missed opportunities haunt Britain still. The lesson: windfalls are rare, but their legacy lasts forever.